All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mindgasms. And I'm going to read another chapter of my novel today called The Cold Darkness of the Night. And for those of you who don't know, it's my novel about a guy who was a mob enforcer and exerts that lifestyle when his wife gets pregnant with their daughter, but he gets pulled back into that lifestyle after his daughter gets kidnapped. All right, so here is chapter 16 of The Cold Darkness of the Night. I hope there are no hard feelings about all this shit, guys, Michael said sheepishly as they stepped out of the storage container. His body language was awkward, but he maintained composure. I'll do whatever it takes to get my daughter back, but I didn't agree with this charade. I don't blame you, Bill responded distractedly. That test thing doesn't make sense to me either, but it did to Marcel, and no one questions him. And I don't have a kid, but if someone took my girl, I'd do anything to get her back. I don't blame you either, added Brian. Bill's right, and nothing would stop me from getting my girl back either. Although the men differed in many ways, they had one thing in common: a propensity for solving problems with violence. They were prepared to fight under any circumstances. This was obvious if you looked in the trunks of their cars. Being prepared for war at any moment was the way of life in the criminal underworld. There was almost always high tension between the gangs, which led to paranoia. The nerve-wracking fear resulted in violence. Inevitable bloodshed raised pressure, which mounted until it caused further altercations. It became an endless cycle to the point where you couldn't tell what came first. It was impossible to discern whether tension was the impetus for paranoia, which led to violence, or that paranoia increased tension until someone lashed out. Each instance of all three incentives fed off each other, violence intensifying fear and pressure, and vice versa. However it began, Bill and Brian knew they needed to protect themselves. Most of the time, showing off heavy firepower prevented rival gang members from escalating bravado to bloody death and mayhem in the streets. The police usually left Brian and Bill alone as long as they didn't cause trouble with civilians. Most notable cops were on Marcel's payroll and were aware of the appearance of Bill's car. Sometimes the assassins were pulled over by a rookie who was unaware of how to behave around Bill and Brian. But even in those situations, at some point, the officer would be ordered by their superiors to let them go. Let's get started, ordered John, handing Brian a picture of a dilapidated black panel van. Sounds good, he responded, following Bill to his car. One more thing, John added as Bill opened a black duffel bag in his trunk and both killers retrieved their belongings. I put my cell number in your phones. Let me know if you discover anything. Sure thing, agreed Bill, closing the trunk. Do the same for us, too. John nodded as Brian and Bill got into the Chevelle. The killers started their mission. They had no inkling of the obstacles they would face and how much they would be forced to change their perspectives on life. All right, so that is chapter 16 of my novel called The Cold Darkness of the Night. Hope you all enjoyed that, and there are many more chapters to come soon. And as always, I will post the link for all of my chapters that I've released so far on my blog in writing, and there are many more on there than there are here that I've read on my channel. And I will also post the link for my playlist with all the chapters I've read so far. And yeah, as always, thank you everyone so much, to everyone who watched and enjoyed this video, and to everyone who subscribed to my channel, liked this video, and or contributed to me on Patreon. And thank you so fucking much to anyone else who subscribed to my channel or likes this video and or contributes to me on Patreon. It really fucking means a lot to me, and I really appreciate that. And yeah, as I always say, I love you all. Keep being the tiny beam of light that shines through the almost impenetrable darkness in the universe. And most importantly, always remember this: the funk cures all. All right, everyone. Adios until next time, and keep having mindgasms.